we're actually going to learn and educate you guys on some really cool stuff. So I had a lot of questions going into leverage trading, right? And a lot of them happen after I get into the trade, and we're going to cover a lot of that stuff. So
don't do that, guys. Learn from Shizzy's mistakes.
Yeah, I'm not a leverage trader, guys, but I do appreciate the power of leverage and what it can do for a trader who's convicted, right? I'm a convicted bull. I can't be a bear. It's just not in my blood. But people that can really make out really well. You can make money when it's bullish and when it's bearish, right? You can long, you can short, and that's kind of why leverage is really important. And it's a tool. It's a tool in a toolbox, yeah, right? Like maybe some people don't use some of the tools, but then there's other people who, like a pipe wrench. How many people use a pipe wrench? But the people who use it do a really good job. Right? So, but yeah, man, let's kind of get into it. Let's bring up Murion. Let's bring up Instant. What's up, guys? Welcome back to OnChain Revolution.
GM.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you guys doing?
It's crazy.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Feels like every time we're back in here, there's something crazy new going on.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. I mean, sometimes like when we're trying to fetch for news and stuff, it's like it feels like a dry desert, and all of a sudden, like there's out of nowhere like 4 oases there, like here's news, and that's kind of like what happened with yesterday. Obviously like the Rune stuff happened. Some platforms got compromised, but that's unfortunate. But it seems like they're kind of moving on from that. But then now, with Bitcoin seeming kind of bullish, where are your guys' minds at as like a leverage platform builder? Let's start with you, Instant, with the current market condition.
I mean, it's pretty crazy so far. I mean, it feels like, every day is like just, red and green lights flashing at me. So it's just,
pretty much.
Yeah, but as like a platform though, it's really cool. Like obviously, volatility, it to some degree is like, good for our platform. But I think overall for traders too, it gives them like options, depending on what they want to do and what bets they want to put in. So, yeah, regardless of where we're at, I'm kind of excited just for the future in general.
Makes a lot of sense. What about you, Murion? You see this volatility, like Instant said, green light, red light, green light, red light. If you guys, once you guys go live, it's good for business, but like, how do you feel as like a trader yourself and everything about the current market condition as of today?
Yeah, the same like Instant said, but like we already know, all of us, before you enter a trade, you need to know the risk and set the TP and stop loss. So you need to be detached and let the probabilities play out. It can be in your favor or against you, but it's all probabilities.
100%.
Yeah, man. I agree. What? So today we hit 86, and right now I'm looking at my clock and it says 84. Yeah. Why did we have such a volatility today?
I see that we set like a swing high from like 2 days ago, but we still do not have any like fair value gaps in this current range, and we need to get a displacement to show us the like the move of the market.
Yeah, I agree. And this was a weird one, right? Because like when he was doing the price action, I was like, why did we dip? And I tried finding news, and I couldn't find anything. There was nothing.
Yeah.
I think there was some news like Binance and Kucoin had some withdrawal issues or something with Amazon server. I didn't catch up too good with it, but I saw there was some.
Yeah, I agree. I think that could have had some of the negative price action, but your clock is behind because we're back over 85,000 already. So this is kind of to the point of green light, red light, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, that's what we're all saying. We got a couple comments in the chat that says JPAL speaks tomorrow, so people are positioning.
Yeah,
that's a great point. We tend to see like either what the market sentiment is for tomorrow. If it's more likely dovish, then we'll see some sell off and play into pump maybe pre or like right after, kind of opposite. That's a tricky game to play though, don't you think, Murion?
Yeah, because people now, like the people said in the comments, right? Paul is speaking tomorrow, so they may play risk-off scenario for tomorrow to see the market relief or the news that will come out, and then we'll see like some displacements that will be good for us.
Yeah, man, 100%. All right, so you guys are a trading platform, right? And who's better to ask these questions to than a trading platform like you guys? So, Murion, like what? So my question for you is, what to do when volatility suddenly hits, right? So let's just say tomorrow I'm in a trade. I totally forget Jerome Powell is talking, and I go for a short, right? I short Bitcoin. I don't put a stop loss on it because I'm an idiot, right? Obviously that's probably it's an easy one. Maybe put a stop loss, make sure. But like, what would you
that's
do?
like it's a general thing. You need to have a stop loss and take profit and entry criteria. That's a must. Like you can go.
Do you right away
Without
put
it,
a
it's a
stop loss
gambling.
as soon as you put
What?
the trade out? Do you immediately put a stop loss in?
Yeah, before you put on the trade, you need to have like to print out a template for you or to-do list to follow it. Like you need to have entry criteria, stop loss criteria, and take profit or target criteria. Without those three things, you're just gambling. You need to have
Gotcha.
exit. You need to have where like invalidation points where your stop loss will be an entry. Yeah, on the levels, some confirmations where you see.
So what
So
would you
it's a
do
must.
then? Let's just say like
Yeah.
you have a stop loss in, right? It's
Mhm.
maybe a little lower than you're kind of you don't want to hit it. What kind
Yeah.
of thoughts come in your head in that situation when Jerome Powell's talking? Are you sitting there and you're just hoping that maybe he says something that goes the other way, or like what's your thought process in the middle of a trade
Yeah.
while
So
there's volatility?
I predefine risk before each trade. So I need to detach also from the outcome of the trade and detach from the money and let the process like work in my favor and don't focus on the money. So I'm just sit there, watch the news, how it plays out, let the probabilities play out and be patient and be like calm because it's not you versus the market, it's just you versus you. Like you have
I
your
love
deal
that.
ahead. Should I remove the stop loss to be still in the position if Jerome Powell's like weeks down and you know?
Yeah, I mean that's really pretty much the main reason for traders' downfalls. Would you agree? Is that like
Exactly.
the discipline isn't there? I'll admit firsthand, you know, there's many times I don't put like a stop loss in, which I should, but it's like playing being a poker cash game player and that's
Mhm.
all you do. You have to minimize risk and maximize your gains, but within a strategy that's consistent. And if you don't do that
Exactly.
and you break that, that's when everything falls apart.
Yeah. You need to be consistent. You don't go for like one hit. So even with 1 to 2 RR, the compounding interest will give you the results. And time is your friend, so it's a
Yeah.
big gains when you look at long term because trading is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, no, I agree. What about some examples of when to hold or cut a trade early? Maybe you put your stop loss, down a little too far. Are you ever just like, I'm getting out of this now? And potentially, is that something that you do?
To be honest, no. I always like put the stop loss on the body or the wick of the order flow leg where I enter. So my stop loss is invalidation point. If it hits, then I'm okay with that because it's my said invalidation point, invalidation level. It's not gonna
Yeah.
be going in my favor, so I'm good with that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game of like percentages and
Exactly.
basically like, you know, if you're trying to shoot for like hitting 100% or more gainers on every single trade, you're gonna end up losing. And
Yeah.
so it's about, you know, really just being consistent with it, staying true to your conviction of your strategy. And if you
Yes.
actually do have to make a strategy change, that's a big deal. And you have to take time to do that. And then you start another strategy with back testing, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like you need to have minimum 100 trades in your data sheet or whatever to see if it's working or not. Because if you're constantly changing strategies, your strategy hopping, we love to call it like SOS, like is like some, I don't know how to say it, but yeah, you just need to be consistent with one strategy and let the time and compounding gains work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask Instant something real quick. So, as kind of being a contributor on the platform side and getting messaging out, do you guys plan to have kind of like some cool like educational, maybe like tips and stuff like that, videos and stuff for the community? Maybe like a library they can kind of look for just for education stuff, or is that maybe not something in the plans?
Well, yeah, I will say that, currently we actually are trying to work on more educational content for traders. I don't know how much of that's going to actually be applicable on the website. I mean, one thing that we do is we are trying to give as much information to traders as possible regarding like liquidation prices, where their stop losses, take profits are, things like that. So it's all easily accessible and readable. And I think that's like a mark of a good platform in terms of what traders want when selecting, their trading preferences or utilizing their strategies. Aside from that, though, we do plan on, just releasing content both in like our docs, which should be easily be navigable from the website, that kind of goes more in depth into stop loss. So lots of educational content directly there. Not that anybody reads the docs, anyways. But also like on our Twitter as well, we are trying to put out more educational content, specifically this month as we kind of prepare for Mainnet.
Yeah, man. And how important is education to you guys? Because obviously, if people come and they're not educated and make bad moves, your platform makes money, right? But how important is to really, give the user as much education as possible?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. I think it's actually a little bit tougher of a question than you would expect because obviously I think like a mark of a good platform or a good perp dex isn't just like a user coming in one time, like throwing all their money out the wall and then making one trade, losing, and then never coming back to the platform ever again. So it's actually like a lot better to have consistent users that enjoy using the platform, are like winning and utilizing on their trades as much as they can, as well. So yeah, I mean, like obviously we want all our users to be totally up to date and up to speed on a I guess like trading education, so that they keep coming back to the platform. They're happy, and if they're happy, we're happy.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like that's exactly what the answer I was hoping for. Because like somebody comes there one time, they throw their money out. Otherwise, they're not coming back, right? You go to the casino, as soon as you walk in the casino, you put $1,000 on black, right? You're leaving. You're not coming back if you lose. But if you educate yourself, take small bets, and you guys educate the people to come in, tell them to take small bets, small leverage, learn, use our test net. That'll really keep people coming back. They'll feel loyal to the platform.
Exactly.
I agree with that. And then that's how you kind of build a community too. Someone in the community kind of that has experience kind of can start like their own community within the community and, give some tips and stuff like that. And, kind of, speaking of tips, we don't have to get into it like really deeply, Murion, but like, could you maybe give an example of maybe a way to like easily like set up a like stop loss, right? Like what's a tip that you can give for that, like percentage wise or whatever?
Yeah, so it depends if you're scalping or swing trading, but that will be like in the percentage wise, which I don't look. I just look based on the technical analysis. Because it's going to be on the different time frames and the percent wise will be different.
Well, let's say this because I feel like swing trades can be a little bit less risky. So let's take a swing trade example.
Yeah, the swing trading is maybe even better because it's like less combinations on the chart, it's cleaner and all that. But yeah, I just put it on the last line of the defense that should be on my trade. Like I know my premium and discount arrays, which is like a levels. So I just like if I have an order for leg, which has a swing high and swing low and fair value gap in between, I'm entering on the FVG and putting the stop loss on the week, on the swing low, right?
The weekly swing low.
If I'm looking for example, if I'm looking for the trades from the weekly time frame, I use time frame alignment and go into the 4 hour. I use time frame alignment and go into the 4 hour. And I use time frame alignment and go into the 5 hour. And I use time frame alignment and go into the 10 hour. And I use time frame alignment and go into the 20 hour. And I use time frame alignment and go into the 30 hour. And I use time frame alignment and go into the 60 hour. And I use time frame alignment and go into the 90 hour. And I use time frame alignment and go into the 120 hour. And I use time frame alignment and go into the 180 hour. And I use time frame alignment and go into the 120 hour. And I use time frame alignment and go into the 180 hour. And I use time frame alignment and go into the 180 hour. And I use time frame alignment and go into the 180 hour. And I use time frame alignment and go into the 180 hour. And I use time frame alignment and go into the 180 hour. And I use time frame alignment and go into the 180 hour. And I use time frame alignment and go into the 180 hour. And I use time to determine that order flow leg, that impulse shift that will give me from that level, hard time frame level, from the weekly chart time frame, right? And then I put that stop loss below the fair value gap. That's that week below the fair value gap. And there is a bit more advanced strategy where you put it on the body of that swing low, but it's for the more experienced guys.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, for the audience listening in, that's exactly what I mean by like a strategy that you have conviction in, right? Because you know, many of you guys are probably like, what is Murion talking about? Well, this is something that he's developed over time. And you know, as you get more educated on trading, you'll have your own customized strategy that you have found be successful for you. And so what he just mentioned is he has this threshold for his stop loss that he doesn't have the emotions connected to it. Once it hits that threshold, he lost that trade and he's okay with it because he believes in his strategy that he'll get a win on the next one or maybe the next one, and eventually his averages play out.
It's all a numbers game. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, let's kind of dig right into that then. So, like, recognizing emotional triggers versus actual market signs. So, like, how do you separate the two? Of, you know, when you're sitting there and you're like, oh wow, like I truly believe it's going up right now, but maybe the charts aren't telling you that. How do you like manage that?
I would say just detachment from the money and from the outcome. That's like the basic and the more general thing that you should do. It will help you with the FOMO, with the over risking, and yeah.
I mean, that is how you become a good strategy player in any kind of strategic game, right? Like whether it's poker, whether it's sports betting. You know, when people do sports betting, the ones that are able to consistently win, which there's not a high percentage of ones that can consistently win, but they're able to detach their emotions from their bets, and they do them in strategic calculated units. Like they stay to their betting units, right? Like my unit is my unit that I use is $200. That doesn't change for one unit for me. But if I feel more confident in my strategy for this game, I might go 2.5 units, which would be $500, right? Because it's $200 a unit, and I stay with that. And if I can cut the emotions and I have a good strategy over time, I'm a winner.
Yeah, you need to treat trading like a business. You're gonna have expenses, and that expense is your stop loss, right? You can take it as a tuition expense or like learning expression, and you just need to like detach, find a creative way if you can detach in the general way, and just follow that process. You need to be process oriented.
So it's all about mental strength and emotional detachment. So if you are an emotional person, probably don't want to just jump head first into trading.
Exactly.
Maybe take a yoga class or something that can get your mental strength back to where you can detach emotions from money. That's I'm just saying, like meditation.
Yeah. You need to master yourself, your mind.
Yeah.
Like meditation also can help. You can do like in the present moment. Yeah.
It's one of the hardest things to detach is emotions from money. Right.
I can't stop picturing you doing yoga now.
Hey man, some of the top UFC fighters, the champion UFC fighters do yoga every day. That was good. But anyway.
All right, let's bring it back to Artura. Instant, man. Tell us something, and what's going on over there? How's everything, and what's your feeling going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think like, you know, it's funny every time we come in here. We have like, you know, we bounce back between like bull and bear and what's going on. And I think Shizzy last time was pulling for the bull to come through, and I don't know, he's been up on that at least.
I said 10 weeks. I still got 6 left.
I don't want to jinx it though. So like I was like, speaking of emotional markets, but yeah, it's hard not to. It's also, you know, I think given the nature of the industry, it's also hard for I think a lot of people to be non-emotional, especially because like, you know, it's just like, you know, pictures of frogs and monkeys on like, you know, the timeline all day, and people going off of vibe trades and things of like that. But yeah, I think like, you know, we're really excited to be launching pretty soon. You know, I think there's like some grade A's out there, but the sun's coming out. We're coming into summer. There's a lot of events going on, a lot of great conferences, and then a lot of people I think about to launch some great platforms, including ours.
Yeah.
Amazing. How's the testnet trading going? Are you guys seeing some pickup in volume over there? You seeing some people getting some big wins? What's it look like in the back end?
Yeah, right now actually, we're fully locked in on launching to mainnet. So testnet is down for maintenance. We're not dealing with we're not doing any like community events, unfortunately, on testnet right now, just because our bandwidth is just fully locked in on making sure that we have a smooth mainnet launch. So we plan on launching this month. And we're going to have some big events, potentially some more trading competitions as well upon launch, but I can't say too much yet.
Love it, man. Yeah, 100%. Let's stop the team from messing with faucets, right?
Exactly.
And kind of keep pushing with the next layer, which is layer 2 on top of Bitcoin, right? Really excited.
Exactly.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, it's been an amazing segment as always every Tuesday. We appreciate you guys spending time, communicating to the community and the Bitcoin ecosystem community as well. Excited for mainnet launch. We know we're going to be trading live once that happens, and I think Murion, maybe we get some episodes recorded with some of the stuff we talked about today. Some tips and stuff with you, and we can schedule that. But we appreciate both of you guys, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.
See ya, guys. Bye.
All right, take it easy.
See you guys. Amazing as always, man. I love that segment. I love talking to Murion and getting his opinion on different things. He's really, really like intelligent. And that was kind of why I wanted to do some of these talking points today. Was we have a guy here. He's really educated on trading. We might as well get as much out of him as we can, right? So I think that's why this segment was awesome today.
Yeah.